But I have a couple questions before then that I didn't tell you ahead of time because I didn't want you to think about it.
Perfect.
Okay, great.
Love that.
All right, here we go. Oh, hi. You're listening to Service from Hell, a podcast featuring people that are currently in customer service positions or the lucky few that got out and all of the good, bad, and infinitely irritating things that go along with that work. I'm actor and writer Kate Gaffney, and I'm uniquely qualified to discuss this as I used to work at a very busy and very popular comedy club in Los Angeles. And at least one of you listening right now has probably grabbed me and told me you were ready to order when I was running around like a crazy person. So let's eat. I'd like to welcome our guest, model, actor, and activist Courtney Granberry, a Minnesota native with her roots in Guyana. Courtney is a Wilhelmina model who got discovered at the Soho House in Malibu. Courtney didn't originally come to LA in order to model. At least that's what she says, but she has a mirror and she has seen her face her whole life and she's real pretty, so I'm pretty certain she was like, but I could. And has big goals to help youth with less privilege have a lifelong chance. She also has a hilarious podcast with her partner called I'm Not Racist, My Friend is Black. And you need to find it on everything and immediately listen, though we will have a link to it in the show notes. It's great. I better know Courtney through our mutual friend Jody. What up, Jody? And having the most fun with her on a random Sunday in Malibu because LA is, in actual fact, the size of my pinky. That said, Courtney, what got you into podcasting? What does activism mean to you? How hard is modeling? Tell us all the things.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay. So where should I start? So I will tell you my modeling story because I feel like it's really intricate, but it's really profound. Okay. So I was working at the Soho House in Malibu, and I want to say I was working there for about a year and a half. Okay. And so every day I would wait on this table, and no one ever wanted them because they were kind of bougie, a little bit rude. And, you know, I was like, you know what, whatever. I don't care about that. Like, I'm going to go get this money. Obviously, it was tip pool. So, like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We're sharing the bread. So it's fine. And so I would wait on this table every time. And, you know, they weren't rude. They were more so high maintenance, which is totally fine with me because I've worked in so many restaurants throughout my life. So whatever. I'm used to it. So I wait on this table consistently, end up creating a relationship with them. They're really sweet to me. So one night I go out with my girlfriends and I'm out and I go to actually the Soho House in West Hollywood. And I'm out there and I'm like dancing, looking real cute with my girls. And then all of a sudden I see this couple, right? And this is a beautiful gay couple from France and I absolutely love them. And they walk up to me like, hey, what's up? Like, oh my God, we can't believe we're seeing you here. Like, you look so cute outside of your uniform. And I'm like, yes, I'm a human being outside of this shit. Thank you. Anyways, and they're like, okay, well, we want you to meet our friend Tanisha. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I meet this beautiful Japanese and black girl. Her name is Tanisha.
Ooh, that's a good combo.
Yes. And she's like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. And I'm like, okay, like, thanks. But like, you just don't really think about that much. You know, you live in LA. It's like, it is what it is. And so I'm like, thank you. And she's like, well, one of my friends has an agency, a modeling agency, and I think that you should apply. And I'm like, okay, like, you know when you're growing up and like you'd hear those mall scams, those fucking like, when you're like, okay, come take some pictures and like we're set up in a mall. And like, so in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, cool. This is LA. I should give this a chance. Whatever, let me do it. So she sends me her phone number. The next day, I text her and I'm like, hey, like, what do you think I should do? Like, what do you need from me? So she's like, okay, I need a bunch of pictures like this, gave me a format or whatever, and I need you to take them and then send them back to me. So one of my homegirls who's actually on a show right now called Sisters, it's a Tyler Perry show. Her name is Novi. And so I called her. I'm like, oh my God, girl, like, I need help. Like, I know you have a camera. Like, I need you to take pictures of me. So we go to her house and she's taking pictures of me against like her garage wall.
I will die.
Yeah, her garage wall. But she can shoot. So it was all good. So she takes these pictures of me and sends them back to me. And then I send them to Tanisha. And I literally, kid you not, 2 days later, the director of Wilhelmina calls me.
Fuck off.
I swear to God. And I was like, oh my God, okay, what the fuck? I'm freaking out because obviously everyone knows Wilhelmina. It's like a huge, huge agency. And I'm just like, this is not happening. So now I'm freaking out. Hands is itching, scalp's itching, like crazy freaking out. And so he's like, yeah, we saw the pictures of you. Like, we'd love for you to come in. And I'm like, oh my God, like, what am I going to wear? Like, I'm like, so like in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, like I'm going to fuck this up. Like, I don't know. Anyways, so I end up going in and I have this thing where like I wear a lucky sock because I'm like, you know what, like I had this lucky sock for that I've always worn, like, you know, when I was doing different things throughout my life, which I'll tell you about later. And it's always worked out for me. And so I didn't realize that they were going to get my actual height and ask me to take off my shoes, right? Because I'm like, why would I have to take off my shoes? Like, but not knowing the modeling industry, of course they're going to ask you to take off your shoes so they can get your true height because I wore heels. So here I am just taking off my shoes and they're like looking at my sock. And so I'm like explaining to them why I got this old ass, crusty ass sock on. And they're like, okay, cool. So like, you know, I feel like it added character to the interview or to the process. And 3 days later, I was signed to Wilhelmina.
Holy fucking shit. Like,
yes.
It's one of those quintessential stories of LA where you're like, no, a friend of a friend of a friend has a story where they got discovered doing this thing. But like, you really have that story, and that's absolutely bonkers. So I want to go back. So when your friend Novi's taking your pictures, because it's not just about how they take the pictures, it's like, how did you know how to pose, what to do with your face, how to be interesting?
So she used to model, and so she was helping me with things, but also what I was shooting is something called like a comp card. And basically what that is you're just taking the very basic images in either all black or all white, very neutral colors. And you're just kind of just showing the composition of your body to begin with. It's not like a whole editorial shoot where you need to be like very much so serving face or anything like that. It's very like, okay, what does she look like front, side, back, three-quarter? It's really like that. Can she show like at least 3 ranges of face? That was mostly it. So it wasn't like this whole thing where I had to be like Naomi Campbell. Not to downplay myself, but it wasn't like as intricate as a lot of people think it is. Okay. And it's because really a lot of it is like your look and how that can be branded and marketed in the industry. It's not really how pretty you are, how good you are in the beginning. It's just like, okay, this person looks like they could work well with Target because that's the demographic they're searching for.
Oh, okay. So what did they tell you right away what your brand was?
No, I mean, they kind of wanted to know what like my goals were as far as modeling. And at that point, I didn't really even know. But now, after doing it for so many years, I'm kind of like shifting into the things that I like, things that I don't like, and where I can see myself fitting in.
Sure.
Yeah.
So what actually brought you to LA if it wasn't for that?
Oh my God. What did bring me to LA? Okay, so I was living in Atlanta for a while after I graduated high school. And I went to school down there for a little bit. And I started working for this company called John Cassette Productions. And it was basically a company that like the award shows would hire of people to be PAs. So I was a PA for a while for Warren G and Big Sean.
Oh, we're going to get into that later. Here we go. Oh my God.
Yes. I have a story about Warren G.
I bet you do. I'm writing it down.
Yes. And so I was working for that company called John Cassette Productions, and I was living in Atlanta, and I eventually moved back to Minnesota where I'm originally from. And I was just like, I cannot live here. Like, it's so cold. Like, this is not for me. Like, my ex-boyfriends is running around out here. Like, I do not want to see them. And I had a little cousin who lived here with her mom. Her name is Sierra. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go visit her because I was working for the BET Awards, which were in California. So I flew here for that. And then I had a night out with my cousin and I was like, California's it.
That was just it.
That was it. And I was like, literally a month later, I packed up all my shit in my Chevy Impala and took one friend with me and drove my car from Minnesota to California in 2 days.
Holy.
With $1,000 in my pocket.
Shit.
Yeah.
So Courtney marks the second guest on the podcast who came to LA or came to at least to California for just on a whim and after a visit. What up, Sarah Mello? She's the other guest that said that. And then went on to have a crazy, amazing career. So it's like, do you believe in like the universe or God or anything like pushing you towards something, or is that?
I do believe in the universe. I also believe in God, but I'm different forms of it.
Sure.
I don't know. I just been like, one thing I do know is I've tried always not to be a shitty person. Like, I've tried to just keep it real, honest, not stealing, and even if it's like minor, like. And I know people are like, whatever, like you can just like steal a drink like from like a shop. I'm like, I've just like tried to avoid all that type of shit because for some reason in the back of my head, I think like there's this crazy like tally of like karmic shit that's gonna like pop up on me. So I'm like, all right, let's just keep it real cute and like let's not do anything fucked up so that nothing will come back. And so I've just tried to live my life a certain way. And I always knew that there was something more. I wasn't sure what it was, but I always had this feeling like, I don't know, like I was meant to do something, not to say that acting or modeling or any of this shit is that trumps anything in the world, because in reality, it's not a real fucking like, I don't want to say it's not a real job, but I do want to say it's not the most important job.
Hello.
It's not the most important job.
That's right.
So I don't want to say that was what, oh my gosh, all this universal shit was pushing me towards being a model. Like, fuck no. Like, it was pushing me towards getting a platform so that I could help other people in a different way.
Okay.
Because I feel like the world is based off platforms and like, who hears your voice. And so because of that, I think that I always had something in me that pushed me towards that. If that makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So you come out here, $1,000 in your pocket, you're in your Chevy Impala, and then like, how'd you find a place to live?
Oh my
Like,
God.
what'd you do?
So listen, so I had if you are moving to another place, I swear to God, this is the best job you can ever have. It's called the Cheesecake Factory. So listen, they have a transfer program where you work for them for 6 months and you can transfer to any Cheesecake Factory in the world.
Get the fuck out of here.
I swear to God.
I did not know this.
Yes. And sometimes they'll help you out when you get here. Like they'll like help you out with a little bit of money, like transfer, like referrals. And all you have to do is work for 6 months and like they have a good relationship with your GM and you can go anywhere. You put in like a little thing. Hey, I want to work here. They will accept you because they always need servers. So you'll have a job anywhere you go. Like if I were to leave tomorrow, like modeling, I could be like, yo, like I'm going to go to fucking Dubai and I'm going to work at the Cheesecake Factory.
Get out of here.
I swear to God to you. So that's what I always tell people. Like if you're looking for a job that will help you, that is the job.
That is crazy.
It's insane. So I was living with my auntie, the one I mentioned earlier, and my cousin, and it wasn't enough space. So we kind of like, as all people do, living in close quarters, kind of got into it. And I had to get out on my own. I had an uncle who lived here in Seal Beach who helped me out. But let me tell you this. After that, I finally got my first apartment in Koreatown. It was on 3rd and Kingsley, honey. Okay?
Oh, wait, for our non-LA audience, that is no shade. I used to also live in Koreatown, so I don't want to. It has a lot of character. May it never lose its culture.
Yes.
That is not a safe area.
No. And you know what? It just depends on what area of Koreatown, because honestly, like off Wilshire, like going downtown, love it.
Beautiful.
By the Line Hotel, cute.
Yes.
Very cute. Love all that. There's certain areas that you can get away with that are cute. But I was living on 3rd and Kingsley, and I had this little apartment. It was $700 a month.
Girl!
And now, honey, it's $700 in LA. I paid for that. So for me, I'm like, what was I, 22 living here when I first moved here? And so it had like a little bathroom, a little baby stove with just 2 sternals on top, and like a little bottom fridge, and open space in a closet. It was like 500 square feet. But it was like, whatever. And it was hardwood floors. Though. It was my space. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, it's all good. Like, $700. Like, I'm doing it.
Yeah, you are.
I'm doing it.
You were.
And I was doing it.
Yeah.
But, girl, I wasn't doing it, girl. Let me tell you, girl. Honey, one day I woke up and I'm like, what is going on here? It's real.
She's itching. She's like, visually itching her body right now. I'll die.
What's going on in here? Girl.
Courtney.
Yes, I did.
No.
Yes, I did.
Oh,
girl, yes, I did have bed bugs.
I mean, from the apartment building,
from the apartment building, 100%. And I like tried to sue them, and like I had roaches on top of that, so I was sleeping in my car for like a couple days, and then like getting hotels. Like it was insane. So yes, that happened. I like called my parents. They were like, "Okay, we'll come back. We're gonna figure something out." Like my parents are married for 30 years. Great people, love them. Shout out to Rick and BB. And so I go back, and they're like, "Okay, let's reevaluate. You got to get out of that apartment. So what are we gonna do?" I ended up finding out that one of my friends from Minnesota was living in California. Oh my God, this is even crazier story. And so she was like, yo, like I have an extra room, like you can come stay. Cool. Amongst other people that helped me out from Minnesota, I was like a month until I saved enough money to get a new apartment. So I was like, people were helping me out, which was amazing. And I got out of that shitty apartment. And then I just lived various places that were just as bad. Yeah, from living with 2 strippers who were like stealing money from me.
No.
Yes. To like just like different crazy scenarios. So now when I look back and like we're sitting in my apartment now, it's like how far I've come.
Oh my God. So people can't see this. Her apartment is pristine. It's gorgeous. It's so well decorated and it's massive. I walked in, the first thing I said was like, damn. So this is a little different than your previous experience.
Very much so.
So do you feel just like every day you walk in, you're like, holy shit, this is all my hard work?
Literally, I write down 10 things I'm grateful for every single day because I'm just like, I can't believe like where I've come from.
That's amazing.
And I'm just like, damn, like people don't realize like, and sometimes they'll see me like, whatever, like you don't know what struggle is. And I'm like, you have no idea. Like I have been through it. Like even though I was raised in a great family, like I didn't grow up poor, coming here on your own is still a struggle.
It's 100% a struggle.
It's a struggle.
And you were poor.
And I was poor. Like I was definitely poor. But I just have always been a server. And I swear to God too, like that shit saved me. Serving saved my ass so many times because it's not like a job, like a 9 to 5, like you're working at an office and like you know what you're going to get. If I pull a double 2 days in a row and my car breaks down,
you about to pay for it.
I'm about to pay for that.
Yep. And no problems.
Mm-hmm.
And that's true.
And you know what I'm saying? And cash.
Right now.
Straight.
That's right.
So it's like, I always tell my little cousins, like, get a serving job just in case.
Have that skill set. You are the first person on the podcast to say that. And that's fair. A JIC situation with serving is right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, granted, I hated serving because sometimes, just...
We're going to get into it. We'll get into it in the next
Okay.
section. We get real specific.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
that's right. And serving can be a nightmare.
Yes.
I want to go back real quick just because I know I'm going to get emails about this. How'd you connect with two strippers and end up living with them? Was it like
Oh my
Craigslist
God.
situation?
Okay. No, because one of the girls that I was living with that was from Minnesota, so one of my best friends growing up was an older dude, and me and my brother's like basically our big brother. His name was, I won't say his name. Anyways, and that was like our like older brother who always took care of us, like loved us. He had a best friend who he was super cool with, was a girl.
Okay.
She ended up moving to Cali, and she lived with this dude who was kind of toxic, and they had like a little extra bedroom. So I was coming in and out, like just working, and they were like, okay, cool. She ends up moving out because she breaks up with him. She's like, hey, I'm moving in with this girl that I work with. She's a stripper, right? And like we have an extra spot. And I'm like, hell yeah. Okay, it was in Arcadia, which is far as hell.
That is
And I was working in the marina, at the Cheesecake Factory in the marina.
That's like 2 hours in your car.
No, I know. So, but I was like, whatever. So they put the down payment down because they're strippers, whatever. Put 6-bedroom house, beautiful crib, right? Beautiful crib. Like in Arcadia.
Pause for 1 second. Is your phone on airplane mode? Because every so often
Yes.
I'm getting that it is.
No, you know what? It's something in the wall.
You hear it too?
I hear it too.
Okay.
It's something in the wall.
Okay.
Yes.
Note to our listeners, we're doing our best. Please excuse that. We're really sorry. Keep going. Okay, so you're in Arcadia.
I'm in Arcadia. And beautiful house, right? And so I move in with them and everything's all good. Little did I know, these bitches were like messing around with like this Korean, like, I want to say like drug situation.
That is so real out here. It is so real out here.
they were basically moving shit in and out of our house, right?
Oh, no.
Yeah. And so they were trimming weed and shit. And I'm not gonna say their name, so I don't give a fuck about the story.
Yeah.
But they're trimming weed, and so I'm like, fine, it's trimming weed, like whatever. I would do that shit too. Who cares about trimming weed?
Weed
Like,
doesn't matter, but anything bigger than that.
I didn't know. And you know what? And I'm like, okay, this doesn't feel right. Like, especially like I'm a young girl, like men in and out of this house, even though it was a beautiful house and they put down payment, I'm like, just because somebody's paying for some shit doesn't make it always better.
Was it becoming a trap house or was it like...
Not really though, because it was just like, when you have like some people who are higher up in a gang and they got their bitches to hold their shit down. That's this. It was that type of situation.
So you were a little safer, but still not safe.
No. And I think the other girl who was a roommate was messing around with one of like the head dudes in charge. So we were taken care of. Like it was no problem like that. But it definitely was not a productive situation for me. It was like,
toxic.
They were smoking weed all the time. Like it was a beautiful house, but... Okay, so I'm like, fuck it, I need to get up out of here, right? Yeah. So this is what I found out. So this is how they were stealing money from me. I'm moving out. So we were splitting, the rent was $2,000, right? $2,000 a month in Arcadia.
That's not bad.
I don't know what the split was with the guys paying or whatever, but this is between us 3 girls.
Yeah.
And so, was it $2,000? Let me think. Hold on, I gotta make sure that's right. I don't know how much.
That feels possible.
Yeah, I mean my split
fucking far.
Maybe it was, no, I'm sorry, it was 3.
Okay.
It was 3. And so we were all paying $1,000 each.
Okay.
Yes. And so $3,000 or whatever, 6-bedroom Arcadia, cool. So I'm moving out or whatever. And I'm like, okay, maybe I can find somebody to take my spot. So I'm like, hey, reaching out to people like, hey, like, like hit these girls up. Like they are,
that is nice as fuck, first of all. For you about to find somebody to take your spot.
Right. Exactly. Because that's rare. So then something didn't seem right because when she told me the price of what the rent was, she accidentally slipped up and said it was $2,000.
Oh, I will die.
And I was like,
you've been floating these bitches this whole time?
Oh my God.
No.
And I'm a server and you bitches are strippers.
Fuck.
So she slipped up and she was like, oh yeah, it's only $2,000. Like we can find somebody to move in because they had to go too. And I was like, what do you mean too? And she's like, oh shit, my bad. Like I didn't mean to say that. So then I caught her ass up. I had my homegirl pretend like she was trying to rent the spot out. Right. Like
you
my
are so clever.
You know what I'm saying? Like my white homegirl too. So she didn't know it was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hi, like, hey, this is me. I'm trying to like, right. On some like throw her off type shit.
Good.
So she calls in or whatever. And she's like, yeah, the rent is $2,000 a month.
I would fucking light the house on fire.
I was like, oh, so you bitches were splitting $500 each while I was paying $1,000 as a server driving 2 hours back and forth when you bitches made $5,000 a fucking night serving at a club.
It's so dirty.
I was stripping at a club and I'm like, oh my God.
It's so dirty.
So, but you know what though? That was meant to happen. And like, I learned a lot about like overly trusting situations that weren't meant for you. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, like, I knew that situation wasn't right. If I'd have told my parents what I was doing, they'd have been like, you're tripping.
Yeah.
It's like I tried to finesse something around a situation that was just toxic.
Don't we do that though? But how did you ever say to them like...
Oh, yeah, of course.
And so did they ever give you any money back?
No. And this was her response. You're going to love this.
I'll die.
How dare you? You used to have bed bugs.
You're going to use my history as a
you're
reason
like,
you can steal from me?
I was like, this was like an upgrade for you. And I was like,
Oh, don't. When people do shit like that,
Girl.
I'm like, you ain't doing me any favors.
No, none.
Oh, you're stealing from me.
You're stealing from me. And she's like, well, what? Like, made up all these excuses. But you know what? It's like money, I'm always in abundance. So it's like, I'm not tripping off that shit. Like, it's all good.
That's right.
But like, knowing what I know now and like, I'm not friends with them anymore. So like, what a blessing. Because
hello.
Because I could have been friends with them for a very long time. One of them tried to fuck my man or something,
Oh yeah, circle the drain.
Like, so it's like, I'm glad that happened. Like,
They kept you out of prison. That's nice.
exactly. Thanks, girls. Thank you so much.
Oh, I can't even. I would have done.
Yeah.
So what did you move here after that or no? There was somewhere in between.
Where did I move after that? I think I got an apartment. God, my life sounds so crazy. I got an apartment in.
I didn't even know this, y'all. This is why I'm so excited. You're on this podcast. Keep going. You got an apartment where?
I moved into an apartment on Hollywood, in Hollywood on Wilton and Lexington, right by the Home Depot. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do. Which is hit or miss.
Yes.
It can be okay.
Yes.
But mostly
Okay,
no.
so I moved into this apartment, and if you ever hear this landlord company, run for the fucking hills. This company is called William Holdings. Please do not ever rent from them. I am trying to save you right now. They are the worst in the entire world. So anyways, I put money down on this apartment, and they're renovating this new apartment, but they've only done one unit.
No, I got fucked this way in Koreatown too, where they say the building's already renovated, and then you're living
not.
in a construction fucking zone.
Exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
then you never sleep.
Exactly.
Oh no, ma'am.
But they hadn't been able to get the other tenants out because they couldn't buy them out of it yet. So I was living with these other tenants in a very fucked up area while my unit was the newest. And everyone else's it was a trap house.
Oh, 100. It had to have been.
It was a trap house. And there's like, trans men and women in and out like at late night, and like people selling drugs on my front door, and like.
Did they look out for you because you were the odd man out? Were they like, she's the outlier?
No, they didn't fuck with me. They were like,
that's good.
I was not tripping off them, and they were not tripping off me.
That's ideal.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's like, and usually that's the way it goes. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's usually just people like who are coming in who are drunk or like drugged out, like around the area that are fucking with you, but like not where you live. And plus, I'm just like,
You mind your business.
I'm not my fucking business. Okay,
Yeah.
listen.
Yeah.
I ain't no Karen, so I'm chilling. I'm just saying. I've been like, you listen, I just seen you shoot up, but like that has nothing to do with me. Like,
Not my business.
I'm walking to my shit and I don't know nothing.
That's
So
right.
anyways, it was a very toxic situation because it was so bad. The roof leaked at one point and they wouldn't fix it. And then like they tried to like evict me because I stopped paying rent because there was roaches, and like it was just like a bunch of like, and it was beautiful, but it didn't matter because the building wasn't together. So like, even if my apartment didn't have roaches when I moved in, the whole building did. So it's like, of course they're going to get in there.
100%. Roaches don't say like, oh, skip that unit.
Yeah,
Either that's
exactly.
the new one.
Exactly.
And so you were withholding rent because you were like,
Yes.
this is untenable.
Yes. Yep.
And that's actually legal what you did.
Yeah.
Because you're supposed to do that.
100%. And so they ended up taking me to court and they said they evicted me. And I looked at my record, there was no eviction. So I'm like, whatever.
So they lied.
They lied. They basically lied and said that they evicted me. And yeah, so another blessing is like I didn't get evicted. I don't have that on my record, but I also didn't have to pay that money. So it's like,
okay,
hallelujah. Yes.
Okay. So in and amongst this time, we're going to get into the job specifics in the next section, but in and amongst this time, you're still serving at the Cheesecake Factory throughout all of this?
Yes. And halfway during this new apartment in Hollywood, I start working at the Soho House.
Okay. How?
So,
actually, don't tell me now.
Okay, yeah.
We're going to get there.
Okay.
Soho House, next section. Okay. So get us up to today. So you're discovered, you're signed with Wilhelmina, which is amazing. And so your main bread and butter at this moment in time is your beautiful face. So
I was splitting working at Soho House and Wilhelmina for the first month or two.
Okay.
But then I was like, there's no way because I'm working so much. I'm doing castings and also like, fuck this job.
Hello. Hello.
But I will say though, I love that job and I love everyone there. Like Andy Vaughn and all these people who like helped me like throughout the years and like who I had to call and be like, hey, I can't make it today because I have a really important casting for a huge brand, and them being cool.
That's rad as
You know
fuck.
what I'm saying? Because literally they could have kicked me to the curb and they did not, and they always looked out for me, and like, so I really appreciate that job because I met a lot of crazy cool people working at the Soho House.
And listen, for people not in LA and maybe for just people in general, they may not know, like that was probably the hardest job to get as a server.
Yeah.
Like beats out the Abbey, beats out any of these places where you got to bring a headshot that and do a fucking whatever. So they could have very easily found your replacement within an hour.
Absolutely.
So they took care of you, and that's huge.
Absolutely. Yes. And it's a very, very hard job to get.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, and it ended up working out. And so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you're a full-time model, and how long have you been a full-time model?
4 years.
Holy shit, girl.
Yes.
Okay. We will get more into this later, but how can people, like, is there a brand right now that they can see your face as you're the cover girl for, or anything that you're doing?
Oh my God, so many things. I'm in TJ Maxx. I'm in Lane Bryant. Also, I'm a curve model. I think that's important to mention. What else? What am I in? I'm in Walmart in those little LED screens.
Yes. That's awesome.
Yes. I have a commercial out right now on TV. It's a Skechers commercial.
Hell yeah. What are you doing it?
I'm just like showing my leggings.
Amazing.
Leggings. What else? I am going to be in the new fall campaign for Tommy Hilfiger, which is coming out soon.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Which is so nostalgic because it's like,
Yeah.
I'm a 90s baby. So I'm like, oh my God, like Tommy Hilfiger was it.
That was everything.
It was
everything. You had to show them above the waist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So
you're doing it. So people can see you all over. Have you ever seen yourself and you're like, oh shit, I guess I'm there too?
I've been so high one time and I'm just like fucking eating on my couch. I'm like, is that fucking me? Like, oh shit! I'm like, oh shit! Like, you don't understand how weird it is to be high and then see yourself. You're just like casually watching TV, and then all of a sudden you're like,
oh okay,
oh that's weird as fuck.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I remember you saying also, and this is just because we have audience members that I'm sure will love this, but you're with Good American too, right? You've done
no Skims.
Skims. I'm so sorry.
Skims. No worries.
Sorry. Same family, different brand.
Kendall and Kylie and Skims and KKW.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Super fun.
A lot of Kardashian stuff.
That's great. All right, so. Thank you for all of that. See why she's on the podcast, folks? So much to talk about. Okay. Well, we hope you enjoyed your apps. We're going to move on to the entrees after a quick break. We are back, and now it is time for the entrees. Okay, now Courtney, this is the speed round of questions, but feel free to throw in stories, and we are going to get into how you got the Soho House job and all of that. But I have a standard list of questions we'll go through, and then we'll get into that. Okay. So what was your first job ever where the government was taking taxes out? So some people say babysitting or a paper route or whatever. You can say those things, but do you remember at the very first job where you were like, oh, I got a paycheck and the government took its money?
Okay. Very, very, very first job. Gosh, I've had so many jobs. Hard to think which one is the first one.
An audience, she has not seen the questions ahead of time, which some people get ask for them and get them, but Courtney is going in raw.
Okay. Well, I know that. Okay. Well, my first I didn't get any taxes taken out of that. Okay, I'll tell you two. Okay. My auntie was the GM of Nordstrom.
Oh.
And I was 16 and I was working there and I was wrapping gifts.
Okay.
But she would pay me and all the testers. So I would go in the back room and get any tester of anything I wanted. So I was like 16 wearing fucking Givenchy.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I'd rather that than get paid.
That's
16.
what I was saying. Exactly. And it was like all the brand new stuff. So shout out to Naomi. I love you so much.
Amazing.
And then I think my actual first job, because obviously like my dad's a chef and I was like having to make food for him. So he didn't really pay me. But probably Subway.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. What'd you do at Subway? Were you
I was a
sandwich
sandwich artist.
Okay.
Artiste. Okay.
How old were you when you did that?
I think I was like 16.
Girl, you were on your grind early.
Oh my God. I was working at Applebee's, Menards. Do you know what Menards is?
Yes.
Oh my God. I was working at Menards.
I love it.
And where else? I was working at Chili's, which also like put me through college.
Okay.
Yeah, just to name a few. Oh my God.
All right, I've gotten 5 so far. We are going to ask how many you've had, but we're not there yet. Oh, that's actually the next question. I know my podcast. Don't worry about it, everybody.
Yeah.
How many customer service jobs have you had? So that was 5 right there.
Cheesecake Factory.
Okay, 6.
Okay, so I said Applebee's, Chili's, Subway, Menards.
Nordstrom I counted because that's the only people.
Count. I worked at this place called Mendoberry, which was like a German schnitzel place when I was in high school because it was like right by my house. I also worked at a really amazing spot called Kincaid's. It was a fine dining fish chop and steakhouse.
Okay.
My dad got me that job because my dad's a chef.
Okay.
And then I also worked, where else did I work? God, I've had so many jobs.
Soho House.
Yep, Soho House.
That's 9.
That's one of there. And then there's got to be more. Like I just...
Do you ever do any like Uber, Lyft driving, any of that shit? Ugh.
None of that shit.
Any
Before
retail?
my time. No retail. It was always food.
Okay. So were the only restaurants out here Cheesecake Factory and Soho? Well, Soho House is kind of a restaurant.
Chili's and Applebee's.
Those were out here as well.
Oh, no, sorry. Those were in Minnesota.
Okay, so the only 2 LA restaurants were Cheesecake Factory and Soho House.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, so far I've written down, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 9 so far. We'll just keep it. Should we round it up to 12 just because there's probably some you haven't thought
that
of?
I can't even think of, yeah.
We're going to go with 12. Because on some level, I feel like modeling is customer service because you're
100%.
serving the photographer and the casting and the blah, blah, blah. Okay,
Yeah.
so 12. All right, great. Which was your favorite? And you can't say modeling. So which was your favorite of all of the customer service jobs that you've had?
I'm going to say Soho House.
That's what I thought you were going to say. Okay.
I'm going to say Soho House, yeah.
Why?
It's just like the amount of people that I met, like I was waiting on this one guy every single day for like 2 weeks, and he would always call me Baby Doll, and he would come in, he would get Pinot Noir and sit by the water. I had no fucking idea who he was, right?
Yeah.
And I was talking to him every day, and he'd always like touch my hand. He'd be like, not say much to me, but it was always like a vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like
Flirty vibe or
No,
like
no.
granddad vibe or dad vibe?
kept it cool vibe, maybe flirty, but not crossing the line. Not like hey, like baby doll, like more like hey baby doll, you good? Like that type of vibe. And it was Mick Fleetwood.
Okay.
Yeah. And but see, listen, I didn't listen to that because I was born in the 90s. So like for me, like my parents would have known.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm
sure.
saying? And also, do you think I knew what he looked like?
I was gonna
Hell
say, I don't
no.
think I'd recognize him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't. So I'm like, who the hell is he? Anyway, so I was waiting him all the time, and it's just like little things like that was happening to me all the time.
Of people like not like seeing you as a human in that job.
No, I mean like just like cool interactions like that.
I got you.
Yes, like
Okay.
and like me seeing like me being like having a conversation with Mick Fleetwood. Like who the hell would think that would ever happen?
It's a weird sentence to be able to say.
Yes, and so things like that were happening a lot. So that's why it's my favorite job for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
This isn't a question I have listed here, but who was your? Are you able to say like a favorite celebrity that you interacted with there?
Oh gosh, I would have to say Jason Statham.
Oh God, I did not
Zaz.
know you were gonna say that.
Yeah.
Is he just walking sex?
You know, he's very little.
Oh, is he?
He's little, yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
And he had his girlfriend. I think her name is Rosie.
Lame.
He had his girlfriend there, but she had her baby shower there. And after her baby
Aw.
shower, like she had all these flowers like imported in for like the baby shower, and she gave them to me.
Bless her.
Yes, and like shit like that. I'm like, she's like, Courtney, like she was so sweet because I took care of her party. She's like, these are for you. Like you did like such a great job, and I want you to like take these home. And like, so that kind of shit was happening to me a lot too. It's like people are cool.
So I think what for people that aren't familiar, so the Soho House is a membership-based club.
Yes.
That is very difficult, especially in Malibu, to become a member of.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's not just you have the money. Don't you also have to be vetted for the Malibu one?
and you also have to have 3 referrals of people who are already members there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a small club.
Yeah. Lots of celebrities.
Lots of celebrities.
Okay.
So I love that job so much. Such
Okay.
a good job.
Which was your least favorite of all of those jobs?
I mean, Subway. I hate smelling like that damn bread.
How long did you last there?
Probably like 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the weirdest request you ever got for a sandwich that you were like, what?
Oh, my own shit. Like, I would literally sometimes eat like, this sounds weird, but like a meatball sandwich with mayo on it.
Oh, that sounds amazing. What are
Okay,
you talking
cool.
about? That sounds so
Okay,
good.
great. Because I'm like, it was so bomb.
Yeah. Mayo on everything.
Okay, great.
Yes. All day.
Yes. Okay,
good.
cool.
Okay. What's the weirdest thing you've been asked to do whilst on the clock?
Wow. I don't even know if I've been asked anything weird to do.
It doesn't have to be sexual, but like something where you were like, okay, I got to go heat up this fucking baby bottle.
Oh my God, I have it. I used to win this guy at the Cheesecake Factory, and he used to come in all the time, and he was a Scientologist, older dude, lived outside of his car, hoarder, 100%.
Oh, no.
And he would ask me to grab him 3 glasses, one with full ice, one with 3/4, and one with none, and 3 different iced teas, passion fruit on 3 different sides with 12 lemons and 12 limes.
Girl.
And I forget his name, but if anybody is at the Cheesecake Factory in the marina that works there, you know exactly who I'm talking about because he comes in there all the time. And yeah.
And what would he do? Would he combine the ice with certain drinks? Or
Yeah, but he would like make his own thing. Like I think he had like OCD or whatever.
Yeah, sounds like it.
But yeah, every time he came in, and his name was Steve.
Steve.
And people used to be so mean to him, and I was like, I don't give a shit. He's nice to me. I don't care.
Yeah,
Like,
that seems to open a lot of doors for you. That like the people who would be considered the runoff or that other servers
Yeah.
would just not want to fuck with, and you're
And I'm
like,
like-
just be nice to everybody.
and also, I don't take shit personal because I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'm in here to get some money. Y'all playing in here. Y'all trying to make friends and trying to have an attitude about some shit that have nothing to do with you. Like, I'm in here trying to get some money, okay? Like, I gotta go after this. Like,
Goodbye. The
bye.
shift's over.
Yeah, and people
Okay.
just like take it way too serious. So
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
What's an incident that made any of the people you interacted with asked to speak to your manager, whether good or bad? Was there ever anything? I feel like you're you just don't have funk with people?
I don't really, because I don't leave any room for it, because I'm so overly nice to people that it's like it would be awkward for you to be mean to me.
Oh, that's so
but
good.
I could turn up on you, but I won't. But I just don't, because I don't feel like no one could ever really get me to that level. But I did have one interaction, I will say, and I hate to say this, but some hood ass, ghetto ass black kids sitting in the back at the Cheesecake Factory, and they ran me around, man, and like did the most. And then when the bill came, I'm like, okay, cool, y'all want me to split it, or like you guys want me to just like whatever? So I put it down. They all walked out.
On the bill?
$300 tab. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, cool. So like I follow after them, and I'm like, yo, like what's up? I'm like, and also it's like, I'm black, you're black, like what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, come on, at least be like, let me know, or like, you know, at least like we can't, I don't know, anything. I just felt like it was a little disrespectful. So
a little,
whatever. Yeah, 100%. And so they walked out, and the manager like ran after them. Like we got their license plate number, and like one of the girls like tried to like pretend she was gonna like attempt to fight me, and I was like,
okay,
I don't have time. I have to go.
No one has time. And also over a bill for food you fucking ate already?
That you ate and took cheesecakes to go.
Oh, come on.
I swear to God. Ordered shit to go and everything.
And wait, so did you ever get paid for that?
No, because the restaurant comps it.
Yeah, but that sucks because you lose the money then too.
Well, I mean, I lose the tip.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I mean, yeah, whatever though. You know,
that
it's all
sucks.
good.
That
Yeah.
could have been $60.
And it was like the last table too.
Isn't that always how it goes?
I swear.
Oof, gross. Okay. What was the last straw, if you have, with any of these jobs where you were like, fuck this, I quit? Or were most of your exits like, it's just time to move on?
I think it was just like when I was working too many doubles in a row.
Oh, no.
And I was stressing myself out, and then I was like having these moments where I felt like I had no support. Like I'd pull the bar by myself. Like I would do it by myself.
Ooh.
Like I was like, I don't give a shit. So I'd work the bar by myself, me and the bartender, and I would cash out the bartender and the busboy before the shift. Like I would give my busboy $50 before the shift, like, yo, let's get it. And every time I did that, we made so much money.
I bet, because it was a grind that you guys were already on together.
And he wasn't like getting anyone else's tables, he was getting mine, and we were flipping so fast that I was walking out with like $300, $400 a night, and like throwing him like $60, $70 to $100 every night. Just off me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so when it got to the point where I kind of was like, this is stressful. And I remember one time I cried at work, and I can't remember what it was. I've cried multiple times actually, but I just was like crying because I felt like I couldn't get ahead or something.
I hate that feeling.
And then like, you know, like you like didn't ring something in or some shit, and then it was just like consuming me, and I was like,
can't do this.
Can't do this. It's too much.
Yeah.
And so at that point I was like, it's time.
Was that, you mean out of the whole service industry in general?
Out of the Cheesecake Factory, out of that high volume.
Oh, quick turn and burn.
Yeah. I had to get out of there. Like less, because that's not fine dining.
No, it's
Soul
not.
House is more fine dining.
Yeah.
It's more intimate. It's more knowing the menu and you know, things like guanciale and like shit like that. Like I'm at the Cheesecake Factory talking about Alfredo. Like, do you know what I'm saying? So it definitely like catered to a different demographic of people.
Yeah.
And so I just needed that change. It was making me crazy.
Were you able to make similar money at a slower pace because of the price point being higher at Soho
Exactly.
House? You were.
Exactly. The price point is way higher.
Yeah. So you're just starting at a...
Yeah.
But now, does sharing tips, though, I feel like that sucks because you always got somebody who's not doing their thing.
A lot of the money in Soho House is credit card based because a lot of rich people pay with credit cards. They don't pay with cash.
Sure.
So we did split the cash, which was turned in at the end, but nobody's ever turned in their cash, whether they say they're lying. They
People
won't turn that shit in.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's basically off credit card sales. So if you work on Monday and the sales of the day for the house is 40 grand, let's just say that. And that's like a reach, whatever.
Okay.
That's including liquor all day, everything. And there's 10 servers, 5 bartenders, whatever. Then you're taking off like, you know, back of house, whatever. And then you're splitting.
Wait, so back of house gets some of the tips too?
Not the tips, but just like I'm saying like the revenue of the day and shit. So, you know, you're splitting probably like 10 grand a day and versus like 20 ways. So it's like, it's not crazy amount, but it was cool.
Like you could live on it.
I could live on it. I was making like probably like 1,500-1,600 a week.
Which in LA is not an insane amount of money, but it's livable.
It's livable.
Okay.
Exactly.
Because in theory, if you have an apartment that's like 16 or 18, you're making rent in a week, which is ideal.
Exactly.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah, and so I was making probably like $4 grand a month.
Okay.
Or 45 a month, whatever, which is good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good. It's good.
For out here.
Yes, for out here, 100%.
So with that, so all of your jobs kind of gracefully ended, and with the Cheesecake Factory, you're like, I just have to shift the style of serving I'm doing, or the location. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever told a customer to fuck off? You don't seem like the type, or in a gracious way, been like, you know,
No, but I have had someone. I don't even remember who it was. Let me think. It was. I mean, I've had like people at the Soho House, like hitting me with the
snaps. She
the
just
snaps.
did snaps. No.
But you can get ignored real quick.
Is that what you would do? Would you just straight up be like,
I ignore people.
Good for you. But then management wouldn't get up your ass about that?
No, because I'm like, they know my work ethic. I'm like, I'm not just skipping over somebody, and I'm not just not doing my job. So it's like, clearly this person is a problem. Like, it's not me. And because I created such a great rapport with them, it's like I always kept it real. Like, I'm always showing up on time. Like, my dad instilled a lot of important things in my life. And like, I was showing up on time. If I ever quit, I gave 2 weeks. Like, I wasn't doing any weird shit. I was being like a really good like employee. If I was calling in, like at least 4 to 5 hours, way before my shift, not last minute.
Sure.
I'm trying not to call in, just doing things I felt like you have to do so that if something were to come up, people have your back.
That's right. That's right. Because they know your reputation. They're more likely to side with you.
Exactly.
So you never got to a position where you like got loud or got stern or got like your move is I'll just ignore you. Which I think is a healthier move.
I'm on some ignore shit. I'm just like, and also maybe something like that has happened, but I have selective memory because sometimes I like to block out the fucked up shit. So maybe that has happened in the universe. Like, no, we can't even go there anymore. So
it didn't happen.
Yeah, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. So so it didn't happen.
Okay, good for you. Okay, how many bodily fluids have been on your person whilst you were on the clock? Meaning, like, have you been bled on, barfed on, spit on, any of those things?
What's funny is I was actually just looking at my finger before you got here.
Yeah.
And I had cut my finger and like had to get like 6 stitches while I was working at the Cheesecake Factory.
Ooh, on what? How?
I was setting a plate in the bus tub and it broke and I like went to shut it and I gouged my finger towards the plate and like was like bleeding so bad that they had to like rush me to like ER.
Did they pay for everything?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
And I still have like a crazy scar on my finger from it.
Oh, that's a bummer.
I know. But
Okay.
yeah. So that's
have you ever been barfed on?
No, never. Hell no.
Lucky you. Spit on? Any of that shit?
Oh my God, I'll be in jail. I'll be in jail. I will be in jail, honey. I could not.
Not today. Okay. Do you tip?
Yes, 100%.
How much?
Great service, 30%.
I'm that way too.
Yeah, 30%. Yeah.
Mediocre service.
15.
Ever stiff anybody?
It has to take a lot for me to stiff you.
Same.
But I think maybe once, and I think it was like within the past couple of years. Like, I don't know. I just feel like someone just was really foul, and I wrote on the thing, like, I wrote why too.
Good for
and
you.
I was like, hey, just letting you know, like, normally like I would take care of you, but like I feel like this and this and that. Like, I'll tell you why.
Good for you. Because then they can't come back at you. And like at the comedy club where I used to work, there would be servers who would chase customers out. And
That
be
is so
like,
ghetto.
I agree. And it should be fireable because like you're getting in someone's face.
And also, no one is obligated to tip.
I would literally just about say it. Tip is a gift.
It's a gift.
It's a gift. And they didn't have to do it.
And they didn't have to do it.
Ever. And
literally.
Like, we it's a gamble. That's
a gamble.
why how you were saying you work a couple doubles and then you can fucking make rent. But,
yeah.
Oh, can you explain to people what doubles are? Because I feel like we've talked about it.
Oh, yes. It's basically when you have a shift and you basically stay for the night shift as well. So if you work in the morning and then you're like, hey, like I can make some more money if I stay for the night shift. So you'd basically work 2 shifts in one day. So if I get there at 7 a.m., I probably would stay to 7 p.m. So like a 12.
That's a tough.
Right.
That's a tough. And what would were there any rules at any of these places that you couldn't work doubles, or were they just like fine?
Yes, because I think that you can go into overtime, and then when they had to start paying you overtime, that was when the money started coming in.
And they're like, you gotta go.
You gotta go. Yeah, because they had to pay you a time and a half, which means your actual server
15 an hour.
15 an hour plus half of that,
which would be $7.50, so $22.50
an hour,
which doesn't suck.
And they were not having that though.
Okay. Have you ever been stiffed?
Multiple times.
At the Soho House?
Yeah.
Really?
100%. I was stiffed by LeBron James.
Fuck off.
I swear to God.
Ohio. That makes me so
okay. So it was
sad.
Tristan Thompson, J.R. Smith, LeBron James, and some I don't even know, some art guy, some white dude, I don't even know what his name is. And they came in there and it was like midday, like probably like 2 p.m. They all ordered ice cream and a bunch of 1942 shots. Tristan Thompson ordered 2 chocolate chips and a scoop of, I have a really good memory. So don't fuck with me.
Yeah,
okay.
Hello.
See, this is what happens when you do stupid shit. Somebody gonna come on the podcast, talk about your ass. Okay. And so I remember specifically, like, they were really cool. And I like begged my manager to take it because I'm like, hello, like Black heroes, I need this. Y'all gonna have to let me take this table.
Please.
And I'm like, and Zaddies, like, need it.
All of them.
All of them
are.
So I just remember this one specific moment. Like, this is kind of off on a tangent. I was walking away from the table, and like, we used to be able to have dogs there, right?
Sure.
And somebody left their fucking dog bone. And so I'm walking away, and I think J.R. Smith was like, hey, by the way, can I get something? And I quick turned around, and I fucking stumbled over this dog bone.
No.
And I was so embarrassed, and everyone started laughing. But I will say, it's not that LeBron didn't tip, because LeBron didn't pick up the check.
Okay.
But LeBron was at the table.
So he knew.
And he knew. Everybody knew. It's like the dude didn't tip at all. It's like y'all should have made sure, like, or threw me something just because of the general principle of like being a black woman and being in a situation in Malibu where nobody else looks like us around here, and I'm connecting with y'all and taking care of y'all. It's like you would think that people would be like, oh, like, okay, cool, like, you know, look out. Hell no, they did not.
Do you I'll go back to that in a second. Do you feel a way about that? Like, do you feel that there is a loyalty about that?
I mean, I feel like there should be like at least like a head nod, and especially if like you're like in a service industry and you're like and you come around someone who's like a black, like, you know, like elite. I feel like there should be a little bit of like, hey, look, I see you grinding, I see you, like, you know, a camaraderie that I feel like that should happen.
I agree with that.
And I hate to make it just about being black, because I feel like everyone should have that too. But specifically in my situation, I felt like, you know, they should have been like, okay, cool, like this girl's obviously serving, like, let me look out for her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But obviously they're not obligated to do anything. Do whatever you want. But the service was great.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You know, it was great service. And like, I made sure we had shit, like, we're not allowed to make ice cream sundaes at Soho House. It's a very strict menu. So I definitely went out of my way.
And made
you know
it.
what I mean? And made it. Like, for people who don't know about Soho House, like, you don't change menu items. You know, it's like
No mods.
No mods. We don't do that. It's disrespectful to the head chef. We don't fuck around like that. We don't care who you are.
Yeah.
So the fact that I like made shit like that work, and like, you know, I was taking care of them, tables clean, they taken care of, nobody's messing with them. I just felt like y'all could have looked out.
I feel a way about that too, and I especially feel like, because especially in something that is such an elitist, like super ultra minority environment, where
Right.
like you might be the only person of color that graced that
Yeah.
facility the entire week.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
I just, that would really, I'd feel
Yeah.
a way about that. So who did pick up the tab? Can you say?
I don't even know what his name was. He was some art collector, some white guy, and I don't even remember what his name was.
A white dude?
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
so grossed out. I'm so sad.
I don't even, I think he was dating, I want to say he was dating Heidi Klum at the time. So if anybody can find out who the hell that was.
What do you think the total bill was? Do you remember?
It was probably like 1,000 or something.
I will die. Even a 10% tip would have been 100.
Yep. Yeah.
Ooh, I'm
Yeah, because
grossed
like
out.
1940 shoe styles were like $40,
Those are-
$50 a piece.
Yeah, those
and
are
there was like
really
8 of them. So they were ordering rounds of it. So it had to have been like close to 1,000. Yeah.
Had to have been.
Yeah.
Ugh. Oh,
Yeah.
I would have felt such a way.
Yeah,
And was your
I
manager
definitely did.
like, yo, I'm sorry? And
Yeah, I mean, you know, we can't really say shit because it's the name of the game. It's like, it is what it is. And like, LeBron is also not the most famous person that's ever come in there. So it's like, you know, and
Fair
that's
enough.
even crazy to say, you know? So it's like, they don't give a shit.
they don't care.
No, they don't care.
Oh, okay. That makes me sad.
Yeah.
Can you think of any other time you got stiff there?
I feel like it just happens with like younger people who come in there trying to live in a lifestyle that they can't afford.
Yeah, that's the thing I don't understand, is that there will be people who get in there or who have
Yeah.
memberships or whatever and can't afford. It's like the empty
Well-
house thing.
Well, because you can bring 3 guests.
Oh, every member can.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, because when you guys were there, you guys were on
Yeah.
a guest list, right?
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
We were definitely not members.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you can bring 3 guests.
And so people can just be gross.
Yeah,
That's
basically.
a huge bummer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Have you ever been fired from a customer service job? I seriously doubt it.
No, I've never been fired, but I did when I was at Kincaid's working. I was having to move around my schedule a lot because I was a host there, and I started working as Applebee's as a server. And so the manager at Kincaid's was like, I don't want to fire you because I don't want to do this to you, but I don't think you're balancing these well at all. And I know you want to serve, and I know you can't. You're not a server here because it's fine dining. I was 16 or 17 or something like that.
Yeah.
And she's like, so I just want to give you the opportunity to just maybe resign.
Gracefully exit.
Gracefully, yes. And she's like, because I just don't think you're balancing it well, and we kind of need someone a little more consistent with the schedule, because I was changing my schedule a lot, like, and I was in school. It's like, so she's like, I'm just gonna do you a favor and not fire you.
Well, that was decent as well.
So kind.
Yeah.
So kind.
And so you did that though.
And so I did that. Yeah.
Okay,
but
fair
other than
enough.
that, never been fired.
I believe you.
Hell no.
No, you don't have that vibe. Can you think of an example of the worst customer you've ever interacted with, or an archetype of who would be the worst?
Yeah, I can think of it right now. He's Zoe Saldana for sure.
Oh, I'll die.
I swear to God.
That
And
makes
I have
me
no
so
problem
sad.
blasting people's names on here because I don't give a shit.
I love it so much. You're the
Yeah.
only one that's done it. So
yeah, I don't give a
keep
shit.
going.
I waited on her with her husband and maybe her 2 kids, I think. And her husband is like, I think he's like Italian or like something, super cute.
Yeah.
Like kind of like scruffy looking guy. And he was the kindest dude ever. And I was taking their order and I was like going around the table and I came to her and I was like, can I get you anything to drink? Like, would you like this? Would not look at me.
That almost nothing makes me as offended.
Would not look at me. Okay. And then proceeds to tell her husband who's sitting like
what she wanted. No.
Yes.
No. That
directly across from me.
No, that makes me fucking homicidal. Yeah. That's so fucking disrespectful.
As I'm standing right there.
You're right like, the fuck there.
And she's like, I'll take this and this and this and this. Won't even look at me. I come back to the table, get everything together. Will not look at me, will not speak to me, not even acknowledge my presence. And then like I'm having to ask like, because I think they ordered like 2 bottles of wine. Did she want like white or red or some shit? And like I'm like standing there, I'm like, and so I have to like look at him like to ask him, and like he has to get her attention, and she's just like responding to him, and I'm just like, this is like the most disgusting shit I've ever been a part of. But you know what? I also didn't take it personal because I'm like, you got your life and you on all these movies, and as beautiful as you are, and that's the way you acting.
You're not happy.
You're not happy, sis. So no. I'm like, you know what? Like, go ahead, be a little bitch because that ain't got nothing to do with me.
Hello, and your karma is your life.
Yes, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like that. If that's the way you feel like you have to act, then you got something else going on.
That's dirty.
Yeah, real dirty.
Sad for her. Okay.
Very.
Can you think of anybody else?
I don't think so. Everyone else is pretty cool. Those
All right,
are just
that's
the ones
good.
that stick out. Yeah.
No, but that's pretty fucking good. the not making eye contact thing. I'm like, I don't.
Yeah.
To what end?
Yeah, exactly. So
okay.
fucked up.
Well, now we're gonna move on to the good stuff. We hoped you saved room for dessert. What was the nicest thing a customer has done for you whilst you were working?
When I was working at the cheese, I have a really good memory. I don't know how.
Yeah, you do, and you are not even pausing.
I know.
I'm not editing out pauses, guys. She's just going. Go ahead.
I was working at the Cheesecake Factory, and I was working at the cabanas downstairs, and it was Shaq's his son's birthday. So they had like 15 people there, and they were just super cool and super kind and like just very warm and felt like my family. You know what I mean? Like, and sometimes when you meet celebrities, they're like, this feels like very superficial. It did not feel like that at all with Shaq's family. And they were like saying what up to me and like making jokes and making black jokes and like talking shit and like ordering shots. And it was so much fun. And at the end, Shaq was like, how much do you want for a tip?
Get the fuck out of here.
He's like, how much you want for a tip? And I'm like, oh, damn. Because I'm like, okay, in my mind, I want to be greedy as fuck,
yeah.
Obviously. But then I'm like, but then also like, no, because like I'm not gonna be one of those people that's gonna milk him for his money just because he has money.
Good for you, girl.
And then I'm like, I could be weird, or I'll maybe run into him sometimes when I get famous in the future. I'm like, so
fair
let me just
enough.
not. And I was like, no, you give me what you feel is right.
That's the best response you could have
And
given
I was
him.
like, give me what you feel is right. Like I don't care. Like I'm just happy to be here with y'all. And he gave me $400.
Bless him.
Swear to God.
Bless him.
Swear to God, cash too.
Okay.
Cash.
And that was not a tip pool. You got to take that all
keep
home.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. That makes me like him so much.
Yeah. And he was really kind. Very kind.
That actually makes me really happy. Good.
Yeah.
That's not surprising, but also like you said, he's so fucking famous. He's famous on famous on
Yes,
famous.
exactly.
That he could have been a mess.
Yes.
Okay. Can you think of anything else that a customer's done for you? Even not necessarily a famous person, but somebody that you...
because when people do nice things for you, they only stick out once they're famous because it's like, there's so many nice things, but like, what do you remember those by? Because
that's right.
I remember Victor Cruz gave me a bottle of 1942.
For anybody that doesn't know, 1942 is delicious.
Yeah,
and it's also
delish.
very rare and very expensive.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah,
Just as a Christmas gift, or
no, I was waiting on his table with Carucci, and it was her birthday. And
was she nice? Please say she was nice.
I didn't really talk to her much, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't really interact with her like that. But yeah, and he just gave me a bottle.
Okay,
which is so nice.
He just happened to have it on him.
No, he brought bottles for the party.
And gave you one.
And gave me one.
Okay. See, I don't mind that kind of runoff.
Yeah.
Flowers. That
Exactly.
kind of stuff. I'm like, I'll take it.
Exactly.
What's the best tip you've ever gotten besides the Shaq thing? Because I imagine 400 is pretty up there.
Damn, I feel like I want to say someone. Oh gosh, I can't remember. I want to say someone left me like. No, I don't think it was maybe it was.
You
No,
about to say 1,000.
I was gonna say 1,000
for real.
But I can't remember, honestly. I think I was working at the Cheesecake Factory, honestly, and some dude came in and like just straight blessed me, and I don't even remember why, just randomly.
I cannot wait to have the kind of money where I can pull shit like that.
Yeah.
And just peace out.
Yep.
Shout out to Artie Fuqua, who is a lovely human and a great comic. Everybody look him up. He does shit like that.
Yeah.
All the time. He'll buy dinners. He'll just go into a restaurant and he'll be like, these 3 people need a dinner tonight. And he'll just do it. And then he'll tell them,
that.
I do too. There's nothing I enjoy more.
Yeah,
than
I
kind of
appreciate
shit.
that.
Yeah. Secret blessings. Okay. What's the best lesson that you have personally learned from having worked in customer service?
Wow. Don't shit where you eat. Don't fuck your coworkers.
Come on. Come on.
God damn.
Come on.
Because I have just seen that turn out so many ways. Yeah.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
And before I get into the rest of questions, I forgot to ask you, how did you get the Soho House job? Because I interrupted that story before.
My friend Bryce Ritter was working at the Cheesecake Factory with me, and he was really good friends with me. And I just like super close to him. And how do we become friends? Was it through that job? I think it was. Yeah, it had to have been. So we got really close, and he was like, Courtney, got this new job. I'm leaving. I only fuck with you here. I'm about to tell you about this. Go apply. Boom. Got the job.
Okay, Bryce Ritter.
Yeah.
A two-namer. Good
Yeah.
for, what does Bryce do now? Still working at the
Bryce is, I don't know, he has a baby now, but he's an amazing singer and beautiful soul. Just so fucking cool. And he actually introduced me to the church I was going to at the time called Zoe and Mosaic.
Oh, sure.
Have you heard of that?
I've heard of it. I've not been, but I've heard of it.
Like Justin Bieber's church, I guess
Yeah.
you could say.
Yeah.
And it's right up the street, and it's like kind of like alternative Christian, but it's like really cool vibes for like younger people who are just like trying to like, you know, talk about like God in a different way,
Sure.
more of like a one-on-one personal like example type of way.
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I love him. Shout out Bryce Ritter.
What up, Bryce? Okay. And what's one piece of advice that you would give to customers who interact with customer service workers?
You know, just be understanding, because you never know, honestly, like if it's someone's first day or like what they're going through, because I've had to be at work in some fucked up situations, through breakups, through all types of stuff. And like sometimes you're off your game, and like that's totally cool. You know what I mean? But I also think that service should be like, you know, like if you feel like you can't be there, I feel like you should take a day for yourself.
That's right.
Because it's just like people don't value that enough, and like take some time for you. Like you don't have to be up in there unless obviously your situation is dire, but
Yeah.
I don't know, take a day off.
Okay.
You know?
And how does working in customer service serve your modeling career?
Oh my God, literally like all my callbacks and all my rebookings and like my ability to have the same clients is only because I talk to every single person on set.
Good for you.
I swear to God too, like I can tell you every key grip, every PA on every job I've ever had that I've had a conversation with. Like people will tell me about their cat, like a key grip from like Arkansas or something, and I will remember him next time I see him, like, how's your fucking cat?
That's so dope.
People remember that.
Yeah, they do.
And like I never realized like that gets back to like the creative directors and the castings, but like I'm not doing it for that. I'm just doing it because I like to talk, and I'm cool with everybody. And also for people who don't realize, the models are not the coolest people on set. It's the fucking key grips.
Isn't that true?
And the gaffers.
So
it's like
true.
the sound dudes who are like fucking smoking in the back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They have all
Like,
the stories.
They have all the stories and the
Yeah.
funny shit. And it's like they dress the coolest.
Yeah.
You know, they know about all the shows and the concerts and the best snacks around. It's like
And they're never pressed.
they're never
Ever.
pressed.
They
ever.
just-
Never.
They're
And
here
so,
for it.
You know, I think just like being cool with people, like, you know, and just like not overthinking, like just because someone is like has status, like you got to talk to them, or like the coolest people on set are the models, or like the talent. Like fuck that shit.
Who made you that way? Because not everybody's that way.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I think my dad.
Yeah.
My
Okay,
dad.
I
My
agree.
dad is the coolest dude in the entire world. His name is Ricky. And like, I just think like he's been so chill my whole life that I'm just like, I'm not really pressed about a lot of shit.
That's so dope.
You know?
Is there anything else you wish that people knew about customer service or working in any of the industries you've been in that you're just like, oh, if only people knew this one fucking thing, then they'd be either better off, or the world would be better, or things would be better in general?
If only people knew that taxes be hitting us.
That's so fucking real.
Like shit. You think our checks be fat, but them taxes hit. So we don't make as much as you think we do, you know, after them taxes. That's why we got to get them cash tips. That's why, you know, gotta pocket a little of that shit.
Hello.
Taxes.
So real. Well, how can people get in touch with you, Courtney? Where can we see, well, you told us where we can see the ads, but do you want people to know about the best Instagram handle out there?
Yes.
Or do you
Oh my God. Okay. Yes. So please follow me, and I will totally follow you back. Okay. I actually got this name because my friend, his name is Aaron. He was working at the Cheesecake Factory with me, and he's like, you know what? You should change your Instagram name, because it was the Courtney Show for a while.
Okay.
And he was like, because you know you be judging and ruling, and I'm like, shut up. So my name is The Supreme Court. And it's actually THA instead of THE, because obviously the other one was taken. So The Supreme Court.
Which
Yeah.
I mean, she told us that when we met her, and I was just like, there's no fucking way. And she's
Yeah.
like, look it up. And then I did. I was like, oh my God.
No, it's just the greatest.
Oh, it's the best. And I'm sure everyone knows you by that now.
Yes, totally.
That's a great way to stay active. All right. Well, folks, we're going to drop your checks now. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to help us out here at Service from Hell, we'd love to have you subscribe, rate, and or review this show wherever you listen. It will help us reach more people that need to be schooled on the art of being kind and will be catharsis for those of us still working in the industry. If you want to get in touch with us directly here at Service from Hell, send us your receipts at servicefromhellpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Remember, if you can't afford to tip, you can't afford to go out. So don't be garbage and be good to people. It's easier that way. Thanks for being on, girl. Appreciate you. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me.
This was lovely.
Yes.
Follow her on all the things. See her face on all the places. Thanks, y'all, for listening. Good night.